Is it true to say, and I know you have got good relationships with Republicans, but isn't it true to say that actually the person with the best relationship with Donald Trump right now, who could be the conduit between the UK and the US, is actually your rival in reform, Nigel Farage?
Well, look, I don't agree with that whatsoever, because, as I've said, both in government and out of government, our ties are enduring. And, you know, we work with the Republican Party and we support each other. Our relationship is based on long-standing values, you know, values about freedom, democracy.
If you think that Starmer is the greatest hypocrite of our time, you are absolutely right. And he has no equal in this shameful art. But in second place, of course, is Sadiq Q. Khan, who, being an avid racist, actively supported Starmer in destroying our beloved London. He didn't miss a single opportunity to attack Donald Trump, even when it made no difference to solving the country's pressing problems. Khan may have hoped that he could avoid the consequences of his blunders online. But GB News has left no stone unturned in exposing his hypocrisy and penchant for a sacrificial narrative. Every time Sadiq Q. Khan appears in public, he seems to do nothing but complain. Last week, he expressed his fears about the US elections, and in August he said that as a Muslim he felt unsafe in Britain after the riots.
And what we have achieved historically together, you can't airbrush that out. And we know Labour like to airbrush history and rewrite history. But specifically, you've asked me about reform. There's a massive difference. Our ties are enduring. We're not a pop-up in the way in which reform are. And of course, there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of interest in the relationship. You know, politics is built upon relationships and trust, but also mutual respect. And that's something that is really deep. It's entrenched in my party, in terms of that relationship we have with our sister party, the Republican Party.
He even clashed with Lee Anderson about racism. What does it say about his abilities as mayor of London if he is constantly in the news only as a victim? Today he drew attention again with his comments about Donald Trump, claiming that the criticism of him was racially motivated. Khan suggested that if he wasn't a Muslim or didn't have a certain skin color, Trump wouldn't pay attention to him. But many doubt this version, pointing out that Trump has worked with people of different nationalities, including a Hindu woman as vice president and openly gay people on his team. Instead of focusing on his duties as mayor, Khan continues to play the role of victim and fixate on Trump. This is deeply disappointing for many Londoners who see their city facing rising crime, transportation problems, and increased violence. London deserves better, and its residents are tired of the constant complaints and inaction of their mayor.
In my opinion, that man shouldn't be in the mayoral seat. How he got a third term is a complete and utter mystery.
Well, because more people voted for him than voted for Susan Hall.
Really? Really?
Yes.
Really,
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I don't know why you keep saying really.
I'm in contact with like a myriad of people from all walks of life, all over London. And I have never, ever spoken to anyone who has a positive word. This man has turned London into, the streets of London are lawless. This man has been a disaster for London. And his priorities lie elsewhere as far as I'm concerned anyway.
People in London are furious. They are sure that Sadiq Khan should finally focus on solving real, pressing problems and not on political hostility. How can you continue to portray yourself as a victim when the city is in chaos? Public safety and economic management are what really worries Londoners, not his constant attacks on opponents. The negative attitude towards his leadership is growing, and citizens are increasingly unhappy that he spends precious time arguing instead of working to improve life in London. Many believe that Khan's inability to cope with the problems of the city is the result of his obsession with national and international politics, while local affairs require his attention. In the face of growing crime and social problems, the public demands that he either improve his efficiency or resign immediately. People openly say that Khan's leadership style and priorities are letting London down, and his constant focus on controversial politics is only exacerbating the situation.
Do you regret supporting Donald Trump, who is a racist, sexist and homophobe? Do you regret liking Enoch Powell? Do you regret liking Lee Anderson, the Islamophobe? Will you apologise unequivocally for having those sorts of views and promise to be a mayor if you win that unites communities rather than your record of dividing them?
I do not divide communities. I support all communities. I come from Harrow, where it's the most diverse borough in London, I'd say, is incredible. And actually, if you look at all,
You're going to apologise or not?
No, if you look at all communities, we've all got the same values. We all believe in hard work. We all believe in family, and we all believe in fairness. And we should all look at people in that way. We've all got the same values.
No apology for Trump, for Enoch Powell or Lee Anderson. You're unfit to be the mayor.
On the 26th of January, 2025, dissatisfaction with Mayor Sadiq Khan reached its peak. His recent statements that Donald Trump's criticism of him was racially motivated have caused a storm of indignation. Despite his words, many Londoners point out that Trump's appointments and policies over the years demonstrate inclusivity and diversity, including the appointment of a Hindu and openly gay vice president to his cabinet. Khan's rhetoric about sacrifice is perceived as a distraction from the real, pressing problems facing London. Citizens are becoming increasingly frustrated that he is focusing on political battles instead of solving the growing problems in his own city. The crime rate in London continues to rise, public services are on the verge of collapse, and Khan is still playing political games instead of taking responsibility and focusing on solving these critically important issues. London deserves better, and its residents are tired of their mayor's inaction.
My name is Sadiq Khan. I'm the Mayor of London. Just 3 things we're doing to tackle violence against women and girls. We're tackling the behaviour of perpetrators, which is really important. More police, GPS tagging, anti-stalking units, predator units. Second thing we're doing is supporting victims and survivors by investing in survivor groups, reducing the waiting list, particularly those who are waiting to get expert help, more independent, advisors to support women who go through the criminal justice system. And the third thing we're doing, which is why I'm in this secondary school in Canning Town, is giving teachers the tools they need to support boys in particular to have the right attitudes and right behaviours to avoid girls and women being at the receiving end of so-called bants, which is basically bad behaviour that they often the receiving end to that can really affect them negatively.
On the 27th of January, 2025, the public reaction to Sadiq Khan's approach to political issues reached its climax. After years of criticism and evasion, his recent comments about Donald Trump have only added fuel to the fire of discontent. The Mayor of London is trying to soften his previous harsh criticism of the US president by offering him the benefit of the doubt. But many Londoners do not believe in Khan's sincerity when he talks about his desire to establish a special relationship with the United States. People feel that Khan's actions have always been contradictory and confusing, especially against the background of his past statements in which he accused Trump of racism, sexism, and homophobia.
Shouldn't you thank the officer concerned for protecting his colleagues and potentially the public from the danger that Kaba posed that night?
I'm always thanking officers on a daily basis.
Right, but you haven't thanked him personally.
Look, I thank firearms officers all the day. My
but
very
you
first
haven't
visit.
Thanked him personally.
Well,
you can imagine what him and his family have been through.
There's going to be an inquest, and I respect the judicial process, which I think we should all do in relation to both the inquest
and there's been an acquittal
and in the criminal trial.
Yes.
So there's 2 things that still to happen, and I think it's really important that your listeners appreciate this. There is still going to be an IPC investigation. And there's still going to be an inquest. Of course, I welcome the verdict of the jury.
Do you feel any personal responsibility to this officer to not apologise, because as you've explained, the importance of due process as the law stood and stands at the time is important, but more an expression of gratitude to him?
Absolutely.
You will? You'll meet with him and say thank you?
I'll thank you today. I want to thank NX121 and all the other firearms officers for the incredible job they do.
The public is disappointed with his approach and tired of his double standards. Although Khan claims to be in favor of inclusivity, his own actions, such as the reaction to Trump's election, often cause controversy and bring no benefit. Critics bitterly stress that his main task is to represent London and address real local issues such as rising crime, threats to public safety, and skyrocketing cost of living. Londoners demand actions from their mayor, not words. They want to see real change, not empty promises and political games. Khan's time is running out in words, and people are demanding that he finally get down to business. Share your thoughts in the comments. See you later.